Which part of it?
Bowl synopsis.
Well, we obviously going through a lot right now. A lot of communication, around the country. A lot of communication with our commissioner and conference office right now, and really we're just kind of riding the wave of all the information that's out there. We're monitoring really what's happening in Conference USA, the Big East, and the SEC, and there's games to be played. And so really these decisions are not going to play out till Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and we'll have a final answer at that point in time. So we're confident about our position. We told our team on Sunday that really they did everything they could to put us in this position by winning 7 games, by finishing second in the conference. And now it's up to the system and the negotiating and the process to let it all play out, and that's what we're working on right now. So there's no definitive information that's really out there. You guys are reading all the different sites that are projecting us, and anywhere from Hawaii to nowhere to Birmingham to New Mexico to any other spots that are out there. But none of that's definitive. It's all based on the bowl execs and conferences and athletic directors that are involved in these discussions.
Fans are clamoring for the Compass Bowl. Do you feel like that will be the best fit?
Well, I think if you look at the location, absolutely. I mean, it's a day's drive, half a day's drive down there, and I believe our fans would really jump all over those tickets. They have responded, I think, in a positive manner. We're close to 1,000 reservations on our ticket reservations right now, and that's really with just a guess of where we might go. So I think our fans have really responded in a positive way. But I think Birmingham gives us the best shot because it's a drivable distance. It's on a Saturday. It's after the holidays. It makes a lot of sense in many ways. But at this point, we'll go anywhere that will take us and reward our players and coaches for a job well done.
Do you feel like there's one scenario that's more likely than another? I know right now it's all kind of speculation.
You know what? It's all dependent. It's all dependent on a game on Thursday night in the Big East. It's dependent on games that start Saturday morning in the Big East. Depends on the Conference USA title game, and it depends on that scenario in the SEC where they could get 3 teams, in the BCS if Georgia does beat LSU. So who's going to predict those? No one knows. I mean, there's odds makers and favorites in those games, but until they play out, you don't know what's going to happen.
You mentioned the projections, and I guess based on your conversations with bowls or your correspondence with them, how much stock can you put into those, or are those just like national media kind of speculating at this point?
I mean, I think when you're an at-large team, anything can happen because there's trades that can take place. There's spots that conferences could vacate depending on a contract. So I guess anything's possible at this point in time when you're an at-large team, and it depends on those conferences that are short bowl-eligible teams and what bowl games do they decide to vacate or give up or trade that may make sense for their teams and for the at-large teams.
Is it maybe a little frustrating that you all are 7-5 bowl eligible, you've done your part, but yet you're still having to go through this whole process of having to lobby to even get in a bowl when you've pretty much out-earned it on the field?
You want him to answer that or me?
Either one, I guess.
I think it's frustrating to us as a football program when you finish no less than second in your conference. There's still a chance to be number 1 and tie for first in your conference and to be left out. I know our players doesn't think that fair, and we don't. We did what we had to. We won 7 out of our 8 conference games, and that's pretty impressive. And you would think coming to second, you have 2 bowls tie in, you'll get into one. But I think all of us right now is learning what it's like. This is a new experience for us too, being bowl eligible. One good thing about it, it's great to be in that conversation, but it's new and we're all learning, and we're going to learn because we plan on being here many years from here on out.
I think the one thing this does do for us, Brad, is it does set the table for the future that we can compete on the field at a high level, which we've shown this year by winning 7 games, by being one of the hottest teams in the country. And then we also know that the landscape of our conference, we're a young conference. This is only our 11th year of being an FBS conference, and because of that, we only have 2 bowl tie-ins that are automatic. And one of the things we have to talk about within our league is the timing of when these bowl announcements come out to protect, a potential second-place team like we were in the mix for, and even a potential conference title. So that's something that we'll talk about in the off-season, but right now it's up to the bowls to decide who they take, and then the league has to compete at a higher level and have more bowl-eligible teams, so the next cycle that comes around, we have more than 2 tie-ins. So last year helps by having 3 eligible teams. This year helps by having 4. And so our cycle should improve next time around when the whole BCS landscape changes as well after the 2013 season. So it is frustrating to kind of ride this emotional wave because our players do deserve it. But we also have to really educate and talk about the process of what it takes to have more bowl games for our conference. And that comes on the field by having more eligible teams.
Russ, have you been through this process before in any of your other stops, and how does that compare to what you had to do now as the guy?
Well, I have been through an at-large process when I was at UCLA in 2008. We played in the Eagle Bank Bowl, which is now the Military Bowl. We were an at-large team. We were 6-6, just trying to find a spot. All the Pac-10 spots were full. And I think we might have taken a Sun Belt spot that year, I think. At least the commissioner blames me for that back when I was at UCLA. But at that point in time, it was all negotiating. It was all positioning the brand of UCLA, the firepower that we had with our alumni base in the D.C., New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey area to capitalize on fan support. So it's really the same type of conversations that we're having now. Hey, you know what? We know we're going to bring a large fan base to Birmingham. We know our brand power in this region is very strong. We know we can deliver, and our fans are excited. So the same type of conversations. The rule changed. 6-6 teams now can trump 7-5 teams. It used to be all 7-5 teams had to be accommodated. Well, now that's not the case. And so because of that, we're fighting for a position. So I have been in this spot before as an at-large and trying to negotiate tickets and guarantees and those sort of things.
Do you have any idea of what ticket sales are like so far as people who have put down deposits for bowls? I know you said you might have an idea in the middle of the week. Is that anything you have a number on right now?
We're close to 1,000 reservations. Close to 1,000 reservations. And that'd be total ticket reservations. We're taking $25 deposits. That's a flat fee. And then people can select, we had an individual say he'd buy up to 80 tickets to help us yesterday. So we've got some positive things out there among our fans and our donors to capitalize on the bowl opportunity.
Have you found it to be more difficult than like at UCLA, for example, because you guys are kind of the new player, and to the party, and so little is known on the national scale about WKU?
I think when you're on the other side of it, when you're in the bowl world, they're going to look at the Purdues, the Illinois, the Northwesterns. They're going to look at AQ conferences, and they should. I mean, those fans are going to travel. But our case is, look, we're one of the hottest teams in the country. We can compete with anybody. We've got one of the best running backs. We've got one of the hottest young coaches in Coach Taggart. We believe we have a great case. And if it's a regional game, we're gonna attract fans. And so, you know what? I don't blame him for looking at a 6-6, BCS AQ conference team, but we're also stating our case that we can bring a lot to the table.
Do you think maybe the fact that WK doesn't have a past track record as far as bowls are concerned has anything to do with maybe the people not wanting to put in a bowl?
There's no basis, for football travel, really, other than a national championship game in 2002. What we have talked about is our fans travel to basketball. They're passionate about athletics. We know that they've shown a commitment with this early start on these bowl reservations, and that our fans are growing, and that we're a growing program, and we've got the alumni base in Tennessee to drive to Birmingham. We've got the alumni base in Kentucky to drive to Birmingham. We're showing all those numbers to these bowl execs, showing that we can deliver on the fans.
Coach, what's the mood of the team right now? Kind of in an odd state of limbo. Seniors don't know whether they've played their last game or not. What's the mood like?
They're just going to class, and we're having our meetings. Again, they're kind of like you all too. Want to know what's going to happen. And, some of them are staying positive. Some of them are a little discouraged. which is understandable. I mean, you got to think about where these kids have come from, and they work really hard to put themselves in this position, and they want to be rewarded for it. But it is what it is, and they got to take it for what it's worth. They've done their part, and now we got to sit back and see what happens. I will say this: we're young at it. We're young at this thing, and it's new to us, but it's going to be new whenever we get that first bowl game and get in it. So why wait? Why not get us now and let us show you? It's going to have to start somewhere. Say, look at some of those other teams that are 6-6 and 7-5, so they're not as hot as WKU right now.
Will you and your team walk away with your heads held high regardless of what happens in this
Oh,
situation?
no doubt. We made tremendous improvement. We've night and day compared to where we were last year. And we always talk about you getting better, you're getting worse. Nobody stays the same. Our football team got better this year, and we're proud of that. And we're happy, and we're looking to build off of that. These guys put our team and our program in a great position, and going forward and setting the foundation. We always talk about building a mansion around here. I got to set the foundation for that mansion now. I'm gonna make it a pretty nice mansion too. Be like cribs.
Coach, are you prepared to tell your team they're not going to a bowl game?
No, positive thinking, baby.
It's possible.
No, this is think positive. I believe we're gonna get there. I mean, if it don't, then I tell them then. But right now, I think we're gonna get there. And again, our guys, they'll be disappointed if it doesn't happen. They should be. Especially the seniors. They will never get a chance to do this again. But you say they could feel good about themselves, what they've done for their university and this football program and going forward. They're gonna be part of something special, whether we go to a bowl game or not. And they can live with that the rest of their lives, knowing that they were a part of that.
For your role, Coach, do you almost feel like you're in a powerless position right now? I mean, you guys can go practice, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot that you can do about this situation.
Game practice. The season is pretty much over with unless we get into a bowl game. So, yeah, I mean, like I said the other day, we did what we can. We were 0-4, and we tried to win the last 8 ball games. And came close to doing it all, but we came up against a bear in LSU. But I mean, we did what we could, and I'm proud of our guys for doing that, and proud of our guys for putting us in this position. Just think about it. No one ever thought we'd be sitting here talking about us going bowling and where we're going to go. I mean, that by itself has brought our program a long ways. But we don't want it to stop right now. We want to continue this season the way we've been doing, like we feel like we should, and that's in a bowl game.
What do you think this season has done? I mean, I know Coach Taggart, I think it was after the 4th game of the season, you told people I wouldn't blame them if they didn't come back, and you had people saying, maybe the move to the FBS wasn't a good thing. Well, I mean, 2 months later, nobody's saying that anymore. It seems like you've got the fans back on your side. What does it mean moving forward for the program, what you all have been able to accomplish this year?
It's huge. We finally gave our fans what they've been looking for since this move. I always thought it was the right move to make it, and why not? When you look at everything that's going on at our university, is big time. We're putting it out there to be noticed. Why not with our football program too? And now that we're doing the things that all the fans want, why not? This could be a big time atmosphere here, and what we're doing with football. This can be huge, and it's not going to be huge without our fan support. We can win all we want, but if they don't support, then it's not going to matter. And I love back even when we were 0-4, and everybody's expectation was for us to win. I love that. That's motivation to get us out there and keep going, and we need that. But we finally did it. We finally went out and gave everybody what they wanted, and now everyone can be excited and be happy. And this whole thing is a team effort. When I say team effort, not just football players, not just our administrative staff, but our entire community and fan base. We want to make this big time and what we all want it to be, being Division I. Then it's going to take a group effort by everybody in this community and our whole fan base to chip in and do their part to make it that way. And I feel like everybody should feel that way. This is our community. This is our football team, and we should all feel that way. should all be excited right now. You know, it's been bad around here for a while now. We're excited about football.
Ross, is that something you can talk about? I mean, just the criticism over the move. I mean, it's always been there, but now it's just completely gone pretty much.
So no one's talking about it? Is that what
I
you're saying?
have not heard anybody talking about that.
Well, after, I think it was after Indiana State, I think I sat down with Chad and that discussion came up, and I said at the time, with all this conference, realignment stuff happening, absolutely it was the right move to go 1A because you're at the table. You have a seat at the table. So that's one piece of it. The second piece of it is what college football does to a campus and a community. I mean, it's a rallying point, 6 Saturdays a year, 20,000 people on this campus, people tailgating, people wearing merchandise, people buying tickets. I mean, it's a big-time atmosphere, and our charge, as Coach alluded to, is to provide a product and then make that a tough ticket. I mean, with 22,113 in total capacity, we should be able to make this a tough ticket. And now, our challenge moving forward is to educate our fans of what it truly takes to compete at the 1A level, and we need to pack that place every Saturday and make it an imposing environment for opponents. I mean, next year, we got a top 25 team coming in here in Southern Miss. Again, that's educating our fans to say, look, we're going to bring opponents in here to give you a great product on the field. Now we're asking them to invest, and it's all part of the big process. Having a team on the field that can compete, having a product, having a fan-friendly atmosphere, bringing in quality opponents. And again, I think we can make that a tough ticket because of the capacity size and because of our region. You guys have heard me talk about the population numbers that are around a 10-county radius, Nashville, Owensboro, Louisville. We need to reach out to those communities and show people that we got big-time college football right in our backyard.
Has it been tough to convince fans around this region and area that in order for all this to work, we need you?
I wouldn't say it's tough. I mean, I think our fans are accessible to the idea. I think now it's just educating them and showing them that it can be done. By winning 7 games, I think that shows that it can be done. By bringing in quality opponents, I think it shows that it can be done. So to me, it's a process. It's a growing process. From where we were as a 1AA program to a 1A program, I think is leaps and bounds. I mean, I've heard people say the November crowds, the last 2 games, even though they weren't capacity, were bigger than what they remember. And so we got to build on that. We got to build and grow that. So I don't think it's been tough. I think it's just part of the growing process. And I think our fans want to buy in and they want to support, and now they have something to truly believe in, and I think we'll see that moving forward, that they'll come out. And it's our job to challenge them and market and make it accessible and make the information available and do all the things we can to promote the program.
Coach, what does this do from a recruiting standpoint? Obviously, the past 2 years, you've had the top recruiting class in the Sun Belt, and that wasn't, you weren't winning much. Now you're winning a lot. Just how much better can this improve on recruiting?
It should help us a lot, especially with kids and seeing what we've done since we've been here, and knowing that our plan and our vision is right on track to doing what we sell them on in our university, and that we could be a winning program, and that we're going to be a winning program, and to do it in a short amount of time. I think that is very telling to the recruits and their parents, seeing what can be done at WKU, an up-and-coming program, and to be able to do it sooner than what most people thought. I think it's huge. I think it'd be even better with a bowl game. I think it'll make things so much easier with a bowl game. That's what all those kids want to do, is come to school and have an opportunity to play in a bowl game. So I think that'll make it, put icing on the cake for us, But again, recruits gonna be recruits. It's harder you get out there and work on it and try to get them here. No matter if you win or lose, we're showing that now, but should be a little easier for us now.
It's been a short window since you guys have, it's only been a couple months since you guys really started getting the momentum of winning. Have you found it easier going into these kids' homes and selling it than maybe what it once was, maybe last year or the year before?
But not necessarily going to their homes, because we just started to be able, we were able to go out and start Sunday. But the thing is, we get more calls from recruits. You find yourself, you don't have to call the recruits as much. A lot of them are calling you now. A lot of them are responding and watching the games on TV and excited about WKU football. We're playing on the road, and we have recruits coming to watch us play on the road, and that's pretty telling. That doesn't happen often. especially if you're playing in the backyard of one of the teams that, I mean, a team that's in their neighborhood or in their area. So that's been impressive by itself. But a lot of those guys are reaching out to us now, you know, and that's great. A lot of them like the way we're playing, you know, and style of offense and defense the way we're playing. That is pretty exciting for a lot of those kids, and to see that they have an opportunity to do it at a young age is also helping too.
Coach, your name has already popped up for potential job openings elsewhere. Comment on your future immediately here at WKU?
My name's probably popping up the same way those bold predictions, those people that really don't know what's going on. So, I mean, I have no comment on it. I haven't talked to anybody about anything. Just be with my guys. Enjoy these meetings with our players. I'm really enjoying that, and sitting back, and hopefully I can tell our guys some good news come this weekend. You know, but that's probably a bunch of guys that, like I say, kind of like some of those bold predictions out there. Putting it out there. I guess that's a good thing. That means we've been winning some games now.
I will tell you that we are working on a package for Coach Taggart and in his future. That's what you have to do. We were prepared to do that even before we won 7 games, is to protect this staff and Coach Taggart at the helm. So we're working on that as we speak, and Coach and I are meeting later this week to talk about, you know, evaluate the program, but also talk about, you know, his future and securing him for a long time here at WKU. So more news to come on that once we have some details.
You said timetable for knowing anything concrete, probably the end of the week, probably Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I think through Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, obviously we'll have more dialogue as these games, you know, play out. And then I don't know what time the ESPN Bowl show is. You guys may know that answer, but this thing could go up until, you know, Sunday afternoon. You know, at the latest when the BCS rankings come out. We have our football banquet at 6 o'clock. That'd be an ideal time to make an announcement, and so we're kind of tracking on that timeline to know one way or another on what we're doing. So Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, early Sunday evening, I think we'll have a good feel for where things stand.
We're going bowling. Positive thinking around here, baby.
Gotta believe. Gotta believe.
Anything else? Now we gotta get